Hello and welcome everybody. I want to do this, which is going to be a fairly short video, on how I created this image. Now, it's very unusual for me to really love one of my images. Very often I'll like them, but very rarely do I actually love them, especially I may love them when I've actually created it, but a day later, a week later, I sort of look at it and think, oh dear, I'm not too sure about it now. But this one has stood the test of time and I still love it. So I wanted to show you how I created it from two images, but well, it's actually three, but I'll explain that. Not far from where I live, there is this lovely walk through some fields, and there is this group of trees there, which is quite unusual, and there is also this group of trees, which again is fairly unusual, in as much that they're sort of set on their own. And I must be, for a couple of years now, I've been looking at these trees, thinking I'm sure there is an image to be had from these, and I've actually tried it with ICM, intentional camera movement, in the past, thinking that would work, and it didn't. And every time I walk up there I look at them and sort of think So this time I took the shots that I've just shown you and I came back to iColorama and played with them, which I'm going to run through with you now, to show you how I ended up with this image that I love. So yeah, let's open up iColorama and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so I have opened up my first image, which we're going to use as the base image, and we are going to first of all turn this into a black and white, and I actually chose number 29, which is that one. We're going to apply that setting, and then we're now going to go into sepia, and strangely enough it was the same number 29 there, and we are going to apply that, and I'm going to save that as a JPEG so we can come back to it and all will come clear in the end. So that's our first stage. We have now reopened that original image, and I'm going to go to Effects, Blend, and I am going to blend this image, which is exactly the same image except it was completely taken out of focus. And we're going to pick a preset within the blend modes, and for this image I chose darken, and we're going to apply that setting. I'm now going to again go into blend mode, photo, and pick this image, and again darken preset. Now I'm now going to position that image to where I want it, which is about there, and I'm going to use the brush mask just to brush out this lower part, basically up to the tree line. And I'm going to also just brush out this line on the right hand side, like that. Went a little bit over the tree there, so we're going to go back in, and I'm going to put the limits on so that it can recognize the changing colors and only delete or reinstall that tones. So as you can see, it's reinstalled that part of the tree without affecting the rest of the image being the sky. Now, I'm also going to delete some of these trees here because I really like this sort of fluffiness that I'm getting here. So we're going to just delete some of this here. Gone a little bit far there, so we're going to bring that back in. So yeah, I'm quite liking that. Now I am going to apply that setting, and I am now going to reopen it in my steps, and then I'm going to change that again as I did in the first image to black and white, number 29, if I can find it. Apply that setting, sepia, again number 29, and I'm going to apply that setting as well. Now what I don't like in this is the tree branches on the right hand side. The background is a little bit on the dark side, I think, and you're not getting the sort of structure of the branches and the trees, and also down the bottom of or down the trunks of the trees, some of the background there is a little bit dark. So that's when my first image that I created comes in. So we're going to open that up again. Okay. And as you can see now, the branches on the right hand side, they're much more prominent because the background isn't so strong. But I've lost all that lovely sort of trees that I created. So I'm going to go into the brush mask, and I'm to make life easy, I'm going to completely turn off the limits. I'm going to completely delete that layer that I've just opened up. Okay, and we can go into show, and it shows you if I've got all the image deleted. And now we're going to go into erase, and I'm going to just bring back. Now I'm going to make this, put it on limits. I'm going to bring back that layer, and as you can see, I'm getting that lovely branches there, and I'm going to do a little bit here, a little bit here, and I'm going to go over the image, get rid of some of that sky because it's a little bit on the dark side. And as you can see, because I've got the limits box checked, this is not going into the dark part of the trees. It's a really handy tool, that. Yeah, so I'm liking that. I'm just going to do a little bit, perhaps, no, that's a bit strong. That's a little bit there. Yeah, that's still a little bit on the strong side, I think. But what I can do is I can go into set, adjust, and I can reduce the opacity of this brush. Do it to about 1. There we are. We have much more control over the colours now. Yeah, I'm really liking that. So I am going to apply that setting. I'm going to then save it as a PNG. I will then open up the PNG file in Photoshop Elements, convert it to a TIFF, and then reopen it in Capture NX2, which we will go to next. So here we are. I've opened up this image in Capture NX2, and I've deconstructed what I've done, but this is all on the right hand side, the procedure I went through. So I'll run through roughly what I did to this image. The first one was the high pass filter. I checked that. I'm sure you all know how to use a high pass filter, so I won't go into that very deeply. We'll just check that, but it just sharpens the image up a little bit. Now, as I was mentioning before, I love the fluffiness in this section of the image, and by giving it some noise reduction, I have actually made it even a bit more fluffy. Is that the right word? Sort of out of focus, but if I click that on and off, you can see it's taken away some of the sharpness. But what I did do on that, I don't know whether I can show you, but I actually deleted this part of the image, which I didn't want that effect. So the green is actually the area that noise reduction is affecting. So we'll turn that back off. Okay, so that was the noise reduction. Color control point. Now, I wasn't too happy with the sort of background in the lower section of the image, so I played around with the color control point there and also around here until I got it to where I wanted it. And now auto retouch brushes, they were basically just deleting bits of the image which I didn't think really sort of added to it. I won't bother going into those because they were just tiny adjustments. And another 4 color control points, really just sort of adjusting the sky, and again this area here. Another one, just that part there. And the last control point was there. As I say, they were really just to get the background, you know, the right sort of tone, if you like. And that was it. Quite a bit of playing around, but I was really pleased with this image. And I did it a few weeks ago and I am still pleased with it, which is unlike me. Usually I look at an image a few days later and absolutely hate it, but I'm still liking this one, which is a good sign. So yeah, that was it. That's how I created this final image. I hope it's given you some ideas. to play around. Playing around with this in iColorama is so much fun, and you can get some really lovely results from it. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click that thumbs up button, it all helps me. And until the next image that I think worthy of showing you, this is John Dexter saying thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.